if you were one who, um, engages intentionally in a healthy lifestyle, really to any degree, then you could probably be considered radical in our society. And what I mean is, something that's radical, at least one definition of radical is like, deviating very significantly from like the traditional, from the usual. Some people will call it extreme. A lot of times, like radical has a negative connotation to it. We've seen that over the course of history, especially in this country. Um, but from a health standpoint, I actually think it's a positive thing. It's very different, and I think sometimes it can be something that makes you kind of stick out like a sore thumb. But the reason why I say it's radical is because, like, a healthy lifestyle, I know we have gym culture, and it's kind of, in some ways, it's cool to be in shape. But just like, if you look at the statistics in the United States of America, like, health is really bad here. It's like we for all the money that we spend in healthcare, we lead the world in a lot of these diseases. Matter of fact, to be honest, we tend to kind of perpetuate these kind of things around the world when people from other parts of the world kind of adopt American, food and lifestyle and stuff like that. They tend to get a lot of these same kind of illnesses and stuff. But anyway, I digress. The main thing is, you're kind of like a radical if you pay some level of attention to your health. And I actually want to encourage you to be unashamed to be radical with your health. Because the thing is, again, the current state of American lifestyle is literally toxic. Literally, like, if you think about this, it's easy to, go from your younger years, being a child, a teenager, all that kind of stuff, coast along. The next thing you know, you get to like your 30s and you kind of start feeling stuff and you start getting symptoms of things. And why is that? It's because what happened is we kind of like started kind of going along, and we kind of adopted the path of our way, our lifestyle here, and then start having the same kind of diseases and ailments and aches and pains and all this kind of stuff. And but if you're going to be one who avoids that stuff, you have to live different. If you really want to avoid it, you have to live very different. You got to sleep different than everybody. You got to eat different than everybody. You have to drink different than everybody. You got to be very intentional about your activity levels, exercising, as well as, just generally, moving a lot. So you have to be very intentional about the things that you do, and it's just not the norm. And so, I mean, it's so much not the norm. I still remember when I was a kid, and it is kind of funny, but my dad, when I was a kid, he became the pastor of a church, and sometimes I know we have like functions at the church, and I know sometimes he would kind of suggest, because we had a church in the South, and a lot of good soul food and stuff like that, which I loved that stuff and still love it. But I know he would suggest, this time, we're not going to do a lot of those heavy foods. We're going to do like some, finger foods like carrots and broccoli and celery and stuff. And people would joke with my dad, and they would kind of joke with him about that. And I mean, I thought it was kind of funny too. I mean, of course, I grew up that way, but of course, I really appreciate my dad for doing that kind of thing and suggesting such things. But I just, over the years, I've kind of thought about that. It's like my dad was teased for suggesting, those kind of little hors d'oeuvres, those little like raw vegetables and stuff like that, because it's kind of considered so different, you know. But like, where did we get where we look at eating healthy as like something that's tease worthy? You know, I don't know. Maybe you come from circles where you wouldn't necessarily get teased for eating raw vegetables and stuff like that. I don't know. But like, just think about that. That stuff tends to be stuff that, people like, ooh, who are you? Who do you think you are? You know? But like, if we're gonna be successful, like really successful in life, you gotta be the one to kind of stick out. You gotta be the one that's gonna do, um, that's gonna be very non-typical in the way you eat and the way you move and all this kind of stuff. You have to be, and I'm not saying in any sort of prideful way. That wouldn't be right to be prideful and kind of like you better than people. But I say this. I'm a follower of Christ, and like I really believe that part of that really um, has to involve being a good steward of the body that I have. And I can do better in some ways. Like I really can. Um, but like overall, being a good steward of everything, including my body, because I believe that every person kind of has like a reason for being here, has a purpose, some things to carry out, some things that are unique in our hearts that we are assigned to put in the world. And like, how can you perpetuate good and do good works and stuff in the world when your health is bad? Like, how can you do that? And so, especially if you live in a culture where the lifestyle is like the what do you call it? The default lifestyle is very unhealthy. It's very unhealthy. Because again, what happens is, if you can pretty much guarantee it, if you just kind of like go with the flow and just let what will be, then you're gonna be a statistic. You're gonna be a statistic, and the statistics in our country are not looking good. They're not looking good, and I mean they're steadily getting worse. You got young people, kids getting what used to be considered grown-up diseases, type 2 diabetes and stuff like that. You have a lot of autoimmune disease, a lot of these diseases that are related to inflammation and whatnot, which, I think most of them are really. Um, just all these things that are just everywhere. And so you guarantee, if you're not radical, you can guarantee that you're gonna suffer physically for it and financially, because we all know how much how much healthcare costs, and how much it costs to get good health care, and then getting, having to pay for medications and stuff all the time. That stuff adds up, but it all starts with what we put on our plate and what we do with our bodies. So anyway, be radical out there, man. Be radical with your health. Don't be ashamed. Don't be scared to be different. But then also, to those of you who are yet to get on your journey, just understand it will take that level of effort, like for you to look a little different than the norm, for you to kind of stick out, even also maybe to be called out because you're so different. But you don't have to be prideful or anything like that, but just know you're gonna look different. You are, and that's okay. That's kind of like what it involves. Like, we're not all supposed to be like each other anyway. But anyway, that's all. Y'all have a good one. As we get older, it becomes increasingly important to maintain and build muscle. Muscle helps you burn fat, stay mobile, and can contribute to longevity. However, many people have no idea how to work out to build muscle. My mini workout series on Patreon provides you with my body weight mini workout video library. These workouts use little to no equipment, which means that you can do them in the privacy of your own home. They start at beginner level and progress from there to ensure you continue to see results. Every workout is a full body workout, hitting chest, back,
legs, and glutes, as well as other muscles in between. Become a patron today and receive access to my series of mini workouts, plus access to a digital copy of my book, 8 Weeks to Transform Your Diet and Your Health. By combining the workouts with healthy diet changes, as outlined in my book, you'll definitely be on your way to weight loss, improved health, and visible results. Join me at patreon.com/SeanB2B Fitness today.